Let's talk about elections. The Economic Community of West Africa States, ECOWAS, is urging all political actors to tone down inflammatory language as the country's presidential elections, the Liberia presidential elections, heads to a runoff. The National Elections Committee Tuesday announced that none of the 20 aspirants contesting the polls secured the required 50% plus one threshold required under Article 83 of the country's constitution. The incumbent President George Weah, who is seeking re-election on the ticket of the Coalition for Democratic Change, secured the highest votes of 804,087, representing 43.83% of the valid vote cast, but will have to run a second contest with his main contendant Joseph Boakai of the Unity Party, who got 796,961, representing 43.44%. The outcome of the 10th October contest will now have to be decided with a second contest on November 14.
Constituting 43.83%. Wako Jeremiah Z votes obtained 9,149, constituting 0.50%. Yofi Luther N. Rebuilders votes obtained 6,479, constituting 0.35%. Total valid votes 1,834,516, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes 114,639. Total votes 1,949,155. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the results of the 10th October 2023 polls show that the ticket of the Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, obtained the highest number of votes, 804,087, constituting 43.83%, followed by the ticket of Unity Party, which obtained 796,961 votes, constituting 43.44%. However, ladies and gentlemen of the press, Article 83B of the Constitution of Liberia requires that for any presidential ticket to win outright on the first ballot, that ticket must acquire at least 50% plus one of the valid votes cast. Article 83B further states that where no presidential ticket obtains at least 50% plus one, the two presidential tickets that receive the highest number of valid votes shall participate in the runoff election to be held on the second Tuesday following the expiration of the time provided for in Article 83C. With the results of the 10th October polls showing that no presidential ticket obtained 50% plus one vote, the runoff election is hereby declared to be held on Tuesday, 14 November 2023, between the two tickets that obtained the highest number of votes: the presidential ticket of the Coalition of Democratic Change, CDC, led by Mr. George Weah, and the presidential ticket of Unity Party, UP, led by Mr. Joseph Boakai. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, political campaign for the 14 November runoff election is hereby declared open today, 24th October 2023, and shall close on the 12th of November 2023 at 11:59 p.m. All of the results read can be found online, results at necliberia.org. I thank you.
All right.
Meanwhile, resident representative of ECOWAS to Liberia, Joseph Nkrumah, is urging all parties to tone down inflammatory language in order to promote peace during the run of elections. The diplomat is confident a successful election will send a signal across the West African sub-region, which is grappling with the issues of unconstitutional change in government.
Has been particularly concerned about the elections in Liberia for a few reasons. Notably, ECOWAS has really worked with Liberia during the conflict, post-conflict, and helping to set Liberia back on a democratic process. And whilst we have seen a few elections in the last few years, this particular election was important for the ECOWAS Commission because this was the first time that Liberia was conducting elections without the presence of UNMIL, without the support of UNMIL. It was also the time, this time around, Liberia was conducting elections, having migrated from the OMR registration process to a biometric voter registration process to ensure that we did not see a distortion of the choice of the people through multiple registration and multiple voting. Instructively, this is also 20 years since Liberia signed on to the Comprehensive Peace Accord. Having said that, within the context of the region itself, you would note that the region is experiencing a recurrence of some coups d'etats. We have 4 countries that are currently in the state of unconstitutional leadership, and most of these have occurred as a result of elections. Liberia became the spotlight for the ECOWAS Commission because we need to turn the tide around. More importantly, we need to entrench the democratic process here in Liberia. It was a test to ascertain if Liberia is really on that journey of democratization, and we saw that amply demonstrated during the voting process and the entire electoral process here.